Every year, as a way to decompress from stressful situations, I have a few select manga and anime that I like to revisit. Kinda like a nice personal treat just for me. It's become my own little ritual to go back and enjoy these stories, not only because they have given me great enjoyment in the past, but because I'm genuinely curious to see how my view of them has changed over the years. And if having the ability to go through something at a breakneck pace enhances or decreases the love that I would have for that work. Doing this, however, is when I began to notice a curious trend. I was becoming less interested in these main characters, but rather began spending a lot of my time and concentration on these so-called secondary or minor characters.
So what? Is someone trying to kill the whole world with miner's lung?
Be careful, Gohan! You're a miner! I'm surprised you knew that. And so is Piccolo, and Bulma! Oh, you meant character. And Vegeta!
I am.
At first, I just chalked this up to main character fatigue, because I already knew how the story would play out, and this was now just me subconsciously devoting my energy into what the other things in this story had to offer me. Think of it like when you go to your favorite restaurant over and over and over again for one specific meal. Eventually, you might just decide to try out that new appetizer that you've always had your eyes on, and next thing you know, the intended main course just doesn't really interest you as much as it did in the past. Well, over time, these appetizers have become my main course. And while you can break side characters into a ridiculous amount of categories, I think there's a couple that really hold my interest the most. I would categorize them as the chaotic compass. This is a character whose crazy actions continue to aid in the development of others, the plot, and at times will be used to great effect to help explain what is going on in situations, using the unique characteristics that they have that will now allow the author to build upon the rules of any certain setting. Then you have the growth edit, taking a character and building upon them as the story progresses. This can be done in a negative or positive way, but no matter what, we will see this person change from the time they are introduced till the time that the story is finished, with the growth or negative change they undergo likely having great effect on the wider story, sometimes even more than the lead. Up next, we have the main character of their own story. Simply put, it's someone who seems like the story could have just as easily been about them and would have fit just as nicely, if not better, than who the story wants us to follow. These all lead into the most ambiguous and overarching category, which is really the point of this video, the fan favorite. Now, many of anime's most beloved characters tend to stem from the main character themselves, but every now and then we do get these characters that just explode in the fandom. Cool design choices, epic battles and speeches, having some interesting or tragic backstories, or heck, just being really freaking cute. The list of reasons is truly limitless, but the better question isn't why do we like these characters so much, but it's why we view them as superior to their main lead counterparts. Well, those three previous categories I mentioned have a great influence on why we tend to end up falling in love with intended secondary characters. A main character can surely be chaotic to a certain extent, but most of the wacky off-the-wall behavior we see in anime and manga stems from a character whose sole purpose can be chaos. One of my favorite forms of these characters of chaos is Hiruma Yoruichi from Aisho 21, a person whose entire shtick is to cause chaos and confusion with his trick plays, gambling-based bluffs, little book of blackmail, and oh yeah, the guy goes around firing a machine gun in the air every chance he gets. These antics don't really suit the main character Senna, whose entire story is about becoming his own person and gaining confidence to stand on his own through his journey as an American football player. Hiruma, on the other hand, is able to use this chaotic brand of charm and genuine charisma to give the series some of its biggest highlights, as well as being a vehicle to teach the sport to those unfamiliar with it and help aid in the growth of all the other characters around him. The striking design, along with the quarterback usually being one of the most important positions in the game of American football, allows him to always stand out next to his beloved but more laid-back counterparts. Now, another beloved gun-toting bringer of chaos resides in Black Lagoon's Revi. While the show's lead, Okajima, has a great growth based out of his own, Revi is the driving force of a large portion of the action that the show has to offer, and her extremely crass attitude and language endears you to the fans, as she speaks her mind in any situation. She has zero qualms calling out others for their indecisiveness or holier-than-thou attitude. Plain and simple, they kill and steal. They may help others from time to time, but don't mix that with being seen as good people. Revi, being the show's backbone and driving force in missions, allow those around her to build this question of morality about the things that they're doing, all the while letting her deliver badass moments the fans can latch onto. Both Revi and Hiruma serve the purpose of being loud, outgoing personalities that enhance the story, while never needing to be in the spotlight. And when they are thrust front and center, they happen to just steal every single scene that they're a part of. Next, we have this growth edit, a category that is usually dominated by main characters. But one of anime's greatest villains turned, well, guy who doesn't mean to be a villain, and his long winding arc easily fits the bill here the best. The one and only Prince of all Saiyans, Vegeta.
You know what? All of you better duck, because I'm about to turn left, and I don't want to smack you with my dick.
For those who never saw the original Dragon Ball series, you might be shocked to learn that Vegeta made his series debut in chapter 204 of the manga, coming to Earth in search of the Dragon Balls to get his wish for immortality. While greatly known for his iconic "It's over 9,000" meme, many fans will remember him as the guy who killed his own partner, beat the absolute shit out of every one of the remaining Z-Fighters, and only thanks to the help of a very fat, cat-loving samurai, among other things, was finally defeated, only to be allowed to escape at the goodwill of Goku. Now, this act of mercy would surely change the Saiyan's heart, right? Yeah, about that. You see, Vegeta has a really slow burn when it comes to his transformation into the character that we know today. We learn in the next arc of how Frieza destroyed his home planet and manipulated the young warrior into being his loyal soldier, which leads to Vegeta getting sweet revenge against basically every underling the uniquely designed Space Tyrant has at his disposal. During these events on Namek, Vegeta slowly...
Stop laughing! Answer me!
again, very slowly, begins to change his attitude towards working with others. Once back on Earth, though, Vegeta undergoes his greatest step towards true change. He wears a pink shirt and has sex with Bulma, which might seem as an odd source of character growth, but through the upcoming Android and Cell saga, we see the weight of becoming a father and having a family of his own start the prince down a path of self-reflection. After killing some innocents on a highway and letting Cell reach his perfect form, which endangered the whole planet, if not galaxy, but after seeing his own son brutally murdered in front of him, he finally grows a conscience and immediately makes things worse for everyone else yet again. What makes Vegeta such a beloved and truly interesting character, though, when compared to his counterpart in Goku, is that he's constantly making these mistakes. But he stays true to himself throughout the story. For most fans of the original run of the anime, this all comes to a head in the Buu saga, when, again, after killing way too many innocent people, Vegeta finally chooses to try and save everyone by taking out his new big bad Buu and himself in one beautiful moment of self-sacrifice. Which, in the show, it doesn't really do anything, but it's that type of sentiment that really shows that Vegeta as a character has grown. Now, last but not least, we come to the main character of their own story. The biggest gripe of a lot of people with the main character fatigue stem from these characters themselves just not staying interesting all throughout a story's conclusion. So, when we get attached to these new characters, anytime that they aren't a part of the main focal point, we begin to wonder what they specifically are up to. Then, when they are made in center, they steal the show every damn time. Roy Mustang lighting his best friend's killer ablaze, Gojo Satoru just being cool in every possible way with a character design that radiates power and intrigue, Minami Nanami learning to overcome her personal shortcomings that she sees in herself, even when most on the outside looking in think she's perfect. Levi Ackerman being an absolute demon in every action he takes, Kakashi Sensei and his tragic past fueling him to take care of others and live in his own unique way. Killua battling his family's sadistic way of life, striving to be with his first real friend no matter the cost. And look, I know she's a psycho killer bitch, but you cannot honestly tell me Yuno Kasai on screen wasn't more interesting than watching Yuki fumble around every episode in Future Diary. All of these characters have massive moments throughout shows that one time or another makes you feel as if they should have been the main focus. They are great in these roles that they serve, but could easily hold a story, and many of them do get extensive time to shine. Finding a secondary character more interesting and beloved than the main character is in itself no crime, and loving a lead is certainly not wrong either. I really just wanted to shine a little light on the reasons I have come to love these characters so much, and the stories that they get to tell, whether they are main, center, or not. I've been Summers with Baka To Basics. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you the next time class is in session.